Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Watches and Wealth, where I make watch and wealth orientated videos. In this video, I'll break down the difference between manual, automatic and quartz wristwatches with a Seagull, Rolex and Seiko as referable examples. Let's get started. While there are three main watch categories, the two main groupings are mechanical and quartz. Mechanical implying both manual and automatic, and quartz obviously implying quartz watches. The origin of the first wristwatch is debated to this day. However, there's no denying watches started out as mechanical manual movements. A mechanical watch, such as the Seagull 1963, uses a clockwork mechanism to measure the passage of time. On average, manual watches need to be manually wound via the crown, and depending on the power reserve, you'll need to wind them every 1 to 4 days. This Seagull has a 45-hour power reserve, so I'll need to wind it every second day to keep timing. This movement is made possible by a mainspring, which must be wound periodically by the exposed crown. The force is then transmitted through a series of gears known as the gear train to power the balance wheel, a weighted wheel that oscillates back and forth in circular motion at a constant rate. From there, a component called an escapement releases the watch's wheel to move forward an incremental amount with each swing of the balance wheel, moving the watch's hands clockwise. The escapement is the main component for the ticking sound you hear on operating mechanical watches. Manual watches are enjoyed by the enthusiast and watch lovers alike for their aesthetic appeal and relational operations. However, if you want a more practical alternative, here's where automatic watches come into play. Mechanical automatic watches are manual movements that have implemented self-winding mechanisms integrated into them, such as this Rolex Datejust. This automatic watch will naturally provide energy to the mainspring via motion of the wrist, making manual winding unnecessary if worn enough. This automated movement is made possible by a rotor. What is a rotor? A rotor commonly is a half-circle shaped metal weight. This component is attached to the watch movement that can swing on a pivot point 360 degrees without restrictions, as the wearer moves the wrist, creating kinetic energy. It is also connected to the mainspring by an intrinsic set of gears, and it winds the mainspring as it turns. This Datejust has a 70-hour power reserve, and it can be automatically wound by motion of the wrist or manually wound using the crown. Manual and automatic watches are now mostly marketed these days as luxury or enthusiast product, purchased for their aesthetic and luxurious values. This sentiment nowadays is vastly due to the quartz watch introductions. The first quartz watch operating a quartz movement was invented in 1927 by Canadian engineer Warren Morrison. Quartz didn't start to take effect in the wristwatch world until 1969, where Seiko released the world's first quartz watch in the Seiko Astron 35 SQ. Quartz watches are battery-powered movements cultivated and introduced by Seiko in 1969. The Seiko uses an electronic oscillator regulated by a quartz crystal to keep time. This crystal oscillator creates a signal with very precise frequency, so that the quartz clocks and watches are at least in order of magnitude more accurate than mechanical watches at taking the time, and are now vastly available in today's market. This Seiko SQ100 is battery powered, so you'll need to change the battery once every 1 to 2 years for effective timekeeping. Quartz watches also have a tick-by-tick movement on the second hand, as opposed to the manual and automatic swooping second hand. On to the pros and cons of the mechanical and automatic watches. For the pros, I have longevity, superior quality in visuals, handmade and craftsmanship, luxury and price appreciation. For the cons, I have servicing, not as accurate, more expensive and less versatile. For quartz watch pros and cons, the pros I have are more affordable, easy to maintain, no servicing, very accurate timekeeping, and adaptive and versatile. The cons are longevity, lack of visuals, quality as price increases, and resale value. Overall, I enjoy all three watch movements. These are the three common ones, however there are many out there. For example, solar panel watches or watches that utilize coaxial escapements. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, click on the links. Thank you for supporting and viewing, as I'll be consistently uploading watch and wealth orientated videos weekly. Thanks once again.